Getting me very au naturel today, right out of the pool, right out of the shower, no makeup on, very cozy. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to answer three quick questions before I go over to my Patreon page and have our private exclusive Zoom room. But I like to come on to social media first and answer a few relationship questions. So tell me, I'm going to load the comments over here on StreamYard. I don't know why it's not... Hi, Central California. Thank you for liking my hair. That's just how it grows. And I spend a lot of time with blow dryers and flat irons because apparently in the TV business, you're not supposed to have. Hi, Henry in DC. How are you? Where else are you guys watching from? It's always nice to know. And let me load my comments over here. Hi, Sydney. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to take three quick relationship questions. Thank you for your nice words. It's always nice to see. There was something I was thinking about today. Oh, well, I posted a TikTok video today on boundaries and how boundaries can be two things. They can be sexy because people always are attracted to something that they have to work for a little bit. But they're also a little bit of a screen, right? To find out if the person is going to respect your boundaries early on. So I'm a big believer in not dating and then getting brave enough to say, oh, by the way, this is how I like things. You're better off to give a nice little boundary at the beginning and see if they respect it. And if they don't, then you know. Okay, Sydney's got a question. It's a very long and complicated answer, Sydney, but it's a good question. How do attachment styles impact the anxiety levels in long-term romantic relationships in adulthood? Well, it depends. So if you've got two people who both have an anxious, hi, Linda from Pasadena, I'll see you in a few minutes in our other room. If you've got two people who both have anxious attachment styles, they tend to have so much fear and anxiety, the two of them, that they often fuse and they get into this kind of relationship where nobody can remember whose problem is whose. But more common is somebody who has an anxious attachment style who meets somebody with an avoidant attachment style. And although both of them are sort of longing and not getting their need, or one feels engulfed and one feels longing, they tend to last a really, really long time. You know, my belief is the healthiest relationships are if at least one partner has a secure attachment style, right? Because then they have this core of self-esteem that can stay intact while the other one is avoidant and may run away because they're feeling engulfed, or while the other one tries to create all this drama in their anxiety. If you have a secure attachment style, then they can just, weather it. And we were actually talking about this in my Patreon Zoom room last week or the week before. There's a wonderful member named Kareem in Australia, and he had just read the book Attached, and he found it fascinating that one of the great things about a partner who has an anxious attachment style is they can often make a very good partner, as long as the person they're with is kind of a benevolent leader, right? So when the anxious person says, where have you been? Who have you been with? Can I look in your phone? The person goes, sure, babe, check out my phone. I was just at work. You're so cute when you worry like that. Are you really jealous? Oh, that's so sweet, right? So if the secure person acts like nonplussed about it all, then the anxious person ends up being a caring, loving kind of mate. Okay. Sydney's got all the great questions, but I want to see, for some reason, the comments aren't streaming on Instagram anymore. So I don't know what happened. Either you guys aren't posting questions or it's frozen up. It's frozen at a comment that says, love you, doctor, which is very nice. It just stay frozen there. But I see hearts coming up, so I'm really confused. Somebody post a question on Instagram and let me see if it scrolls up because it seems very frozen on my end. But Sydney has such a great question. Let's put it over here in StreamYard. She asks, how do you spot people with a secure attachment style? Well, the big hallmark of secure attachment style is honesty and a pretty good shame tolerance, meaning that they can be really human. And when they're describing events in their life, they're going to talk about, things they might have done great and things that they made mistakes with, things that they had to learn their lessons of. And they'll sort of sheepishly admit, oh, by the way, this and that, I learned my big lesson on that one. And they tend to be emotionally well-rounded when they describe situations or themselves. If you say to somebody who has an insecure attachment style, sometimes, tell me about your parents. They'll say, oh, I had the best family. I had this Leave It to Beaver family. My parents stayed married forever. My mom was so perfect. Whenever I hear that, little bells go off in my head. I'm like, really? I mean, just the very act from going from dependent newborn to completely independent adult is one filled with pain, even with the best of parents. So someone with a secure attachment style has a healthy, they'll say, I have pretty good parents. My mom had a lot of pressures on her. So there's some areas where I had to grow because, she was unable in these areas. But these others, she was so good to me. And so they can sort of have this sense of their parenting that wasn't all good or all bad, but they can see their parents as human. Hi, Margaret in Tennessee, and Daniel's got a good one too. It's a financial one. And I don't know what's happening up there on Instagram, but it seems to be not scrolling. I don't know why I can't see your questions, but Daniel's got a financial one. The most important financial decision you'll make is getting married. How do you filter if it's a financial fit? Well, I will say this. If you have a secure attachment style, you meet somebody with a secure attachment style, you're going to more confidently be able to talk about these really prickly subjects of money, right? We all have different psychologies of money. And if we have a lot of fear in our system, of course, we're going to be more conservative with our investing. We're going to be more careful with our spending. Those people who have, sort of a lot of self-esteem and trust in the world are like, let's buy, we'll splurge. What the hell, right? And so I think the main thing is, can you talk about money? I mean, I'm amazed, Daniel, at how many people march down the aisle without knowing how much debt their partner has, without having a discussion about what percentage of their income they are going to put into household expenditures, without talking about which partner is going to take time off from work during, the child raising, and how that will be a financial cost and what can be done to make up for that loss. Like, none of this gets talked about until divorce, which is crazy. And do I think people should have a prenup? Absolutely. I think everybody should have a prenuptial agreement, if only because it makes them have the conversation, makes them have those prickly conversations about money. I still don't see, I see hearts going. And that's, now it's scrolling. Hi from Malaysia. Look at it, it's all moving now. Hi, Boston. Hi, Florida. But it wasn't scrolling. I have to make it go. Someone asked, let me answer this on Instagram. What does casual dating mean? For many people, casual dating means I want to hang out with you. I want to have sex. I don't want to have public definition of you as my girlfriend or boyfriend. And I don't want you to feel you should rely on me emotionally for support. And some people, maybe after they've come out of a big, long marriage, will say, I just want to lightly date a few people while I get my mojo back and figure out who I am. The most important thing is that you're honest, right? And you tell the person. That's super important. Hi, Josie from California. I'm in California too. Okay, one more question. As I said, we do 3 quick questions on Wednesday, and then I go over to my Patreon page, and my Patreon page is patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. That's patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. There are 3 tiers of membership, $4, $8, or $19 a month. You can read about the tiers when you go over to Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com. We do a private exclusive Zoom room where I get to see you, your faces, at least those that aren't shy. It's okay. Some people keep their cameras off and their mics off and they just want to be lurkers and lookers. That's fine too. I don't record the meeting, but we do talk and exchange ideas about the science of love. And I must say, I am enjoying my Patreon Zoom rooms almost more than anything I've ever done, because it's just a great group and I just feel honored that people are there. So one more question from Crystalline on Instagram. How to spice up a love life? Well, what we know about the human brain is the human brain does not like routine. The human brain craves routine and structure. But once the human brain gets routine and structure, it craves novelty. And here's something that a lot of people don't know, that in order to make your sex life more exciting, you don't have to swing from chandeliers or add novelty to the bedroom. You just need to put your partner in a different location earlier in the day. So for instance, doing something different, going to another part of town, trying out a restaurant, going to a museum, doing something you've never done together before, because then you see your partner in a new light and in a new situation, and they become exciting to you again. So it's really important that long-term monogamous people regularly add novel experiences to their relationship. And I'm not necessarily talking about sexual experience. I'm just talking about, in general, novel experiences. So with that, those are the 3 questions, or maybe 4, that I've just answered. At 6:30, my exclusive Zoom room opens on my Patreon page. That is patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. Patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. You spell it Patreon. You can get in for as little as $4 a month. And it is just my pleasure to meet the people who have come over onto Patreon. So 6:30 every what is this? Wednesday? Every Wednesday I'm there. Thanks for being here. I love you all. It's always my pleasure to be here with you. And I'm trying to end it. Oh, because it's not a touch screen. You can't end it. You need the mouse.